every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money, and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking Fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic Feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
But what is the motive
in this case?
What is the motive of the person who, in your view, falsified this photograph?
Oh, well, they were taking down the royal family, weren't they?
Well, who were?
Maybe Israel. Who knows?
Israel? Goodness me, come on. What do you mean, who knows? I mean, you're putting forward all these photographs. You've got no...
This is real.
No, it's not. This is all false.
Okay, all right.
This
well, maybe go back to bed.
Why would Israel be taking down the British royal family?
Tell me that.
Well, you tell us. You're the one who raised that.
This is a fact.
You raised it, that Israel is behind...
Calm down, old man. Look, just
tell me to
chill.
calm down.
So
you're the person...
Why would Israel be trying to concoct a picture to shame the royal family?
I don't know, because...
But you just said it.
I'm not talking about those agencies right now. I made that clear. What I have,
You just said it was
but
Israel.
without talking about that, this is
we
hard
want
facts.
to talk about that. What is the genesis of your conspiracy
Tom,
theory?
to stop. This isn't a conspiracy. These people do not fit in that space. I've measured it. They do not physically fit. This guy on the left is 5'8", 5'9" at highest with his hair, and he's higher up in the door frame than Andrew is.
But in
Tell me
answer to
that.
Tom's question,
it doesn't add up.
Who had the motivation to do this?
Who is behind Jeffrey Epstein? Like, who is that? We don't know exactly who that is. Who put Jeffrey up to this? Who told him to set Prince Andrew up?
Well, nobody said, because there were
into custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Officers reportedly arrived at the royal estate in eastern England earlier this morning to make the arrest of the former prince, who turns 66 years old today. Andrew is in custody, and investigators are carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. Police are releasing this statement in part without naming Andrew, by the way, saying, quote, following a thorough assessment, we have now opened an investigation into this allegation of misconduct in public office, an offense that carries up to life in prison in the UK, by the way. We're still waiting more details of this breaking news, but this comes after Andrew was stripped of his royal title last October over ties to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, and after Thames Valley police said they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material by the former prince with the late sex offender. The former prince has consistently denied any wrongdoing. Misconduct in public office refers to, quote, serious, willful abuse or neglect of powers relating to the role of public office. We shall see what comes of this. It's a developing story, as you guys know, so we'll keep our viewers updated.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Enzo.
It's Mia.
I'm Dot.
I'm Kamal.
And tonight on the new party, we have a jam-packed night. We're going to start with Prince Andrew getting arrested. Doc, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. As you guys know, Doc is usually with us on the Man Cave, so salute to Doc for coming. Enzo, you were the first to come on in. What's your thoughts about Prince Andrew getting arrested?
Very surprising, to be honest with you. But it was a long time coming. There's been a lot out there for years about Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein, dating back to what's her name? When Virginia Giuffre made her statements about Prince Andrew, and it just goes back a while with that. So I mean, I'm happy that finally somebody has been arrested for anything with this. I personally don't think any of it's going to happen in the United States, because we're just going to leave it up to mob rule at this point and vigilante justice for anybody in the United States. So we'll see what happens. I want to be optimistic and say that the British authorities will do something to Prince Andrew, but at the same time, I don't trust the royal family as far as I could throw. I still feel that they had something to do with Diana being unalived, so I don't really trust anything that they do. I think it's just for show.
Well, some are saying that this arrest is just for show. A lot is going to come out regarding it. But this is what Donald Trump had to say about Prince Andrew a few years back.
Raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it.
Kamal, welcome. Thank you for coming. Shout out to everyone watching. Please go like, share, and subscribe and follow Kamal on the Kamal Johnson Network. Kamal, what do you think about President Trump talking about Prince Andrew, giving the tea?
Y'all didn't see my face? I get a ooh, god damn. Trump out here. First of all, at that point, I don't think Trump was on that island. He just threw everybody under the fucking bus that went to that island. It'd be a thou out with y'all. You feel me? Second of all, what's good, Kelly? I see you in the chat. Everybody else in the chat too. I see y'all. You feel me? And hey, Nora, they loving the new look. You getting a bunch of compliments in the chat with the new look. You feel me? But yeah, Trump saying that to Prince Andrew, I don't know. He probably was on that island, but that just showed me I don't think Donald Trump was on that island, because why would he do that shit, throw somebody under the bus with the island, and he would be on there? You feel me? So that's tough. Hold on, him and Prince Andrew funking, they don't really like each other like that, because that shit was kind of.
Well, I think he's saying to look at Prince Andrew to exonerate himself. He probably knew that this was going to be a thing one day.
Oh, like to get ahead of the curve, basically.
Yeah, because that clip was back from 2015 when he was running for president.
Yeah, I saw the date and everything. I'm just saying, god damn, they was beefing like that to implicate somebody being on that island, and we know what type of things that went on that fucking island. So, damn, spicy as hell. But that was like 10 years ago. I'm like, does he still got funk with Prince Andrew right now, or just like?
Well, today he made a comment. He said that's very sad what's happening, and he feels bad for the royal family. So he don't got that smoke today.
Okay. I think that's because he's a president. That's why he's trying to be a little diplomatic about it. That's honestly, I don't. If he wasn't president, I think he'd still be singing the same tune about Prince Andrew. But that's one thing that I will say about Trump in this second term. He's a little more mature, a little, very, very little mature about things.
I need you to get in here. Do you think it's because he's president? What do you think it is? Or you think he just know he's so guilty that he's just like, I don't need to throw it under the bus. Let me take the high road because he's so guilty. Even Kelly said it.
Teeny bit.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's 0% that because Trump is the president, 0% more mature. He is known to be, he might be the pettiest man on earth. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's none of that. I think he was running for president when that clip came out. So I think that was kind of him like giving people something captivating to, move the voters in his direction. But I don't think Trump taking it easy on nobody since he became the president. If anything, he doubled and tripled down. But I think he's aware, and I think since he's aware, if he don't like you, he'll shoot a stray at you. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's him just trying to be diplomatic. I just think it's really not too much for him to gain from it. It's not too much for him to gain from it right now. Obviously, him just even putting that in the ether seems to have done what it needed to do. So Trump ain't more mature, not a goddamn sprinkler's dust worth. It's so crazy.
Well, at least Enzo's saying he knows that he be talking his mess. So I gotta give Enzo credit with that. But Virginia Giuffre, I wonder what she's saying looking down now that she's dead. Rest in peace.
I was so young. Guylan woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together." And I was like, okay. And we leave Club Tramp.
Oh, what do you know? There's that Guthrie lady.
Guylan and Jeffrey. And Guylan said he's coming back to the house.
What a coincidence.
For him, what you do for Epstein. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even
I just put two and two together now. I know what you're talking about.
Mia, you bring up a good point. What do you think about everything? Is Virginia Giuffre really dead? Did she really unalive herself? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hate to say this. It's going to sound terrible when I say this, but I hope for her family's sake that she's dead because they've clearly mourned her and buried her and all of that stuff. So, like, hopefully it's not some conspiracy or anything like that. You know, they buried her and all of that stuff. So, I mean, hopefully she's moved on and she's in a better place. Obviously, going through what she went through was no good. And I can imagine the PTSD and God knows what other emotional and mental health you can't be trafficked and not have lingering effects. So that's hopefully she is in a better place. And away from all of these shitty people that we have to deal with now. Yeah, I don't think there's much conspiracy with her. I feel like if they wanted to get her to stop talking, they would have unalived her when she was a teenager. I mean, they would have already taken care of her by now. I mean, what's the point? I think she might have legitimately committed suicide.
I hate the way that this sounds, right? But I've been on here a couple of times and I said, this is the kind of victim that I prefer. She got out there, she said his name, she said what happened,
True.
she said his name several times. It's so many people who allude or say someone, or she didn't say someone, she didn't say people, she said his name, he took me, we went here, we did this, she told me he's gonna come back. And that's how I need, because that's a lot more tangible to prosecute and hold someone accountable for. And I think some of this stuff that they throw out, though I know a lot happened, they don't throw out information that would allow us to get justice for these people sometimes. They throw out so much information that just allows us to speculate and argue online. So I appreciate her coming out and naming him, pointing him out, telling what happened, and he should be held accountable. He's a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And speaking of pedophiles, Doc, you put us right in the great place. Not only was Prince Andrew arrested, but Les Wexner's deposition has been released. Let's hear what his attorney said to him today at the middle of the deposition.
Regularly done.
Ooh, I think we might need to run that back. Did y'all hear what was said?
Yeah, run that back.
Let's run it back.
Roll the
Turn it up.
clips.
So he pretty much said to him, if you don't answer the question, I'm going to fucking kill you. And excuse my language, that's what he said to him.
That's
Ray,
why I talk
what's
to
your
my
thoughts
kids in the
seeing
grocery
that?
store.
Yeah, I listened
kill
to
you
it.
if you act
That was
up.
one thing that I found out about Epstein before I got on here. And it's weird because even the Democrats are saying that Les Wexler's deposition is not credible at all because they're trying to say, I agree with the Democrats on this, that somebody like Les Wexler, who was the financial aspect of Jeffrey Epstein, didn't know any of this at all. And then in an unreleased 2019 FBI filing, he was named as a co-conspirator. So I'm not taking old man's story whatsoever, and his lawyer is running cover for him, saying if you answer another question with 5 words or more, I'm gonna effing unalive you, is pretty telltale to me. So,
well, what I would say is, Lex Wessner, he, we know he was rich. He created Victoria's Secret and all these things. Like, if you're paying that much money for a lawyer's going to do their job and make sure that you're going to get free. So the lawyer was doing his job, making sure, okay, you're getting the best bang for your buck, and I'm gonna keep you out of prison. He's obviously not in prison, and that's my first time seeing that video. So he must have had a good defense.
And he's 88 years old, to answer everyone's comments in the chat. That's Les Wexner, guys. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's the founder of Bath & Body Works, Victoria's Secret. He is a big, prominent businessman in the Ohio area. He actually hosted a party for J.D. Vance at his house to raise money for him. So there's a lot of connections with all of this. Let's watch this other clip of his deposition.
his experience at an industrial level, like working for a big company like Bear Stearns, and then he had done personal work for the Rothschild family in France.
Personal wealth management, essentially?
I don't know.
We've seen some reports that he would present himself as a bounty hunter, that he would find people's missing money. Do you recall him saying anything like that?
No. Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole family. So there had been a whole bunch of people. Most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. I never met people, but there were people that called me that either insinuated or said they were Jeffrey through financial relationship. And so they could have been actors, but in the time, a guy calls me up. I'll give you an example. It's just because I want you to understand, because it's so confusing to me. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos. I'm providing financial advice for the chief technologist at Google. And wow, I'm in good company because these are really smart guys with a lot of money. And you have to put yourself in the mindset of if my attorney said, he was qualified to argue in front of the Supreme Court, I'd believe him. I didn't say to call the Supreme Court and say, tell me, is he really an attorney or did he do that?
So pretty much, guys, what he's describing is he's saying that Jeffrey Epstein gave financial advice to these big, powerful people. You heard the Rothschilds being named. Kamal, what's your thoughts on his deposition? Do you see a connection? Do you think this guy's guilty? Because supposedly he went to the island too.
Man, I think all these niggas guilty. Excuse my French. At this point, man, this shit all looking like they was all on that island doing certain things that we is not going to name right now on this damn panel. Okay? God damn. Let's be real, man. His name Lex Wessner? That's his name? He sound like a fucking Marvel bad guy right now. Marvel bad guy. Lex Wessner? Come on now. Get this nigga. Yeah, for real. God damn, bro. Can we get Gramps, man, a pillow or something? It was a struggle looking at bro lie through his goddamn teeth right there. God damn. You see how he was giving financial advice. Man, what the hell? Come on now. This shit is all. God damn, man.
Agreed.
Agree. And it gets worse from there. Jasmine Crockett asked the question, do you hang out with Trump? Let's see what he had to say.
You first met Epstein. How did he originally present himself to you? What services did he say he was offering?
Well, when I first met him, it was just alone. He didn't represent anything and I didn't ask anything. I was just meeting a friend's acquaintance.
As that business relationship became closer and you eventually hired him, I assume he pitched his services in some way. What was his way of framing what he was offering to you?
I think it was his experience at an industrial level, like working for a big company like Bear Stearns, and then
So Enzo, what's your thoughts about how he said oh wait, Enzo's gone. Mia, what's your thoughts about how he said he met him?
I have no doubts. He probably did meet him originally through work, for lack of a better term. Birds of a feather flock together. They're all in the financial sector. Jeffrey Epstein made it a point to be an investor, to move money from one person to this person for movers and shakers. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but Jeffrey Epstein was the primary investor in Bitcoin over a decade ago. I mean, he was on game when it came to financial stuff. I hate to say this because he's a despicable person, but he was on game when it came to money. So, I mean, I have no doubts you probably did initially meet him in some sort of financial work capacity. But birds of a feather flock together. So I'm sure he stayed hanging out with him once they figured out they like the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why he want that Bitcoin. Untraceable.
I'm sure he was an original. You can Google this. Like, he was an original investor, like the top seed money for Bitcoin back in the day.
Yeah,
was Jeffrey
there's
Epstein.
a conspiracy on it that he's the creator of Bitcoin. Like there's no real info on it.
He's
Nobody
smart.
knows who created Bitcoin anyway, so it's not that far-fetched to say that.
True, but I really feel it was I feel it was the Japanese. I feel like that part isn't too far off, because I don't know, Jeffrey, I don't think he's that smart.
I agree with you, but
that's some Asian shit. Asians are good with numbers like that.
Or he
100%.
is the creator and he was behind orchestrating all these moving parts to get rulers of the world to agree for this to be created. Because remember, this goes against the currency. This goes against the dollar. This goes against the yen. This goes against the pound. So I think you're right, Mia. He's not that smart, but he was the one orchestrating and moving all that. Tinfoil hat. That's what I
did find out the original creator has like over 1 million Bitcoin coins in an account that has not had any movement since 2010. So if you can imagine the net worth of that account with 1 million individual Bitcoins in it is astronomical. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that account to see if there's any movement.
I'm going to look right now how much that's worth.
Yeah. Well, guys,
I mean, Bitcoin's what, like 70,000 a piece?
Yeah, well, like,
yeah,
like
68 or 64.
Yeah, it fell off.
Oh,
it fell off a fucking cliff. It was at like 150 at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna talk about
60 to 67 billion.
Enzo, I know you don't like this person, but all the Republicans were talking about him this week, so I have to talk about him. I'm sorry. He went viral. He was trending. He said something that if this is how plays out how he wants, this is bad for the Republicans. This is what he said.
Oh, I know what clip it is. I seen it.
My message in 26, you could take it or leave it. Don't vote. Don't vote. Do not vote in the midterms. The Republicans have to lose. They have to lose. They have to crash and burn. A cleansing fire is the only thing that will save us. It cannot be fixed. Fuck them. Fuck Trump. Fuck MAGA. Fuck all this stuff. It can't be fixed. If it could have been fixed, it would have been fixed in 2025, but it wasn't. They made every mistake. Liberation Day, disaster. Doge, disaster. Big Beautiful Bill, disaster. Epstein files, disaster. Iran, disaster. The personnel, Mike Waltz, disaster. Ratcliffe, disaster. Rubio, disaster. Pam Bondi, disaster.
Oh, he can't do that to Rubio.
Self-inflicted. Trump personnel, Trump policy, Trump strategy, Trump playbook. We tried it your way. It didn't work. Fuck you. Now we don't vote. That's the message. Seriously. Can't blame anybody else. Bad advice, bad advisors, Biden's economy. Enough already. It didn't work. We're not voting. I'm staying home. And you know what? I hope the Democrats impeach him. I hope the Democrats impeach all of them. I hope they indict everybody. I hope they depose and compel the release of documents. And I hope they find all the criminal behavior. And I hope it destroys the GOP. I hope it creates a crisis for the GOP so severe that they never recover. And then I hope we get a fucking Nazi to run in 28. And I mean that metaphorically. I don't mean that literally.
He's fucking lying. He wants a real Nazi to run.
Fascist to run in 28 to burn the GOP down as a dark horse. and win the presidency as a right-wing radical. That is my hope. That is my playbook. That's what I want. I don't trust them anymore. They say, we just got to vote for Vance. No, shut up. I'm not listening to you. The same people that brought you this garbage now want to sell you Vance. I'm not listening. You fucking people told me that Trump was going to deliver a golden age in mass deportations and $2 trillion in cuts and charter cities and all this crap. You lied. It didn't happen. Now you're selling us on Vance? I don't think so. I'm not even listening anymore. I'm not voting. And they could say whatever they want. Say whatever you want. Try and squirm and struggle and flail around. I am not listening anymore. I am not voting. I am not reasonable anymore.
Okay, wow. Doc, is this going to work? If the Republicans don't vote, are we going to see a blue wave? Or I should say, if the Groypers don't vote, because that's who he's talking to.
It's easy for somebody who doesn't leave their basement and doesn't truly have skin in the game to have this type of ideal. I'm a true independent, and I'll let you know I will be voting Republican for the governor of Georgia. We've had some candidates run in Georgia. They all want gun reform that I don't agree with, so that's why they don't get my vote. You know, I vote for the things that pertain to me, the things that benefit me, and I don't know if the Groypers gonna be voting, but I'll be out there, you know what I'm saying, casting my vote. But I'll probably vote Democrat for senator because we got better Senate seats in Democrat than Republican. We having some weirdos. So I kind of go back and forth, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's irresponsible of him to tell his base not to vote. I mean, we're telling people to live the American dream and these values and use your free speech and use your Second Amendment and then we're telling them one of the things that you can't do most places in the world. One of the things that, you know, is what makes this country great, that they shouldn't use that right. And I think that's a bad idea. If you think it's bad candidates, bro, go run for something. You ain't put your hat in the ring. If you think that you're so confident you can change something and that you can bring some sort of reform, then go and do it. It's easy to speak on reform. It's easy to talk about being helping your community, and him. All he does is sit in his basement. He's only dressed from the waist up, and he's just out here spewing nonsense. When he gets dressed from the waist down, then we'll have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Until I see him stand up with pants on, I don't want to hear nothing from him.
Well, I mean, it's not all bad news. There's some good news. Let me play this CNN clip.
Nationwide should stand as a wake-up call for Democrats, because take a look here. The race raiders, governors post-2026 election, at least tilting to the Republicans. Look at this, a majority, 26. That is, at this point, the number of governors that are expected, at least tilting towards the Republican Party at this point. Democrats come in at just 20. The rest of the races are toss-up. Of course, you sum up to 50. And I will note that the Republicans right now hold a 26 to 24.
Enzo, what do you think about that clip? Do you trust CNN? Do you believe it? What do you think is going to happen?
Realistically, I've been hopeful and I've been optimistic, and I've been looking at these races and looking at the midterms, and it's one thing that I've been focusing on my lives lately is I've been asking Democrats, what is your plan for midterms? What are you guys running on in the midterms? What are you guys realistically going into this? To undo everything Donald Trump did. Okay, like what? Oh, just everything. They can't even tell you. They can't even tell you what the Democratic Party is, what they're running on, why they're running, why we should put these congressional seats in Congress at all. Their only goal is to impeach Trump and try these people for whatever they want to try them for. That's it. They have no real goal. And that's why it's backfiring in their faces, as they see on CNN. We see what happened with New Jersey and them hiking up prices for basically everything. Same thing with Virginia. Virginia has a tax on literally everything. The only thing they're not taxing in Virginia right now is air. That's it. Everything else, they're getting taxed to death. New York with Mondami, it's a fucking shit show. All of these Democrats that got in, it's backfiring in their faces, and it's showing now. And it shows in the poll numbers with the Democratic Party, polling at 18%. The only way that they will win is if they just win off straight ignorance and they shoot themselves in the, not even in the foot at this point, in the face, because you're not getting anything out of it. You're not. You're screwing yourselves and you're screwing the American people over by voting people in that literally are not going to do anything. So I'm hopeful that people are waking up to this now, that people are actually seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that the Democrats are not going to do anything, that they're not going to help you out at the end of the day. They just have a vendetta against Trump. And I'm happy that people are waking up to that now. So the Republicans, I'm holding faith that they're going to win the midterms, and I'm going to do everything that I can to get the word out there for all these people in special elections, as well as elections coming up, and make sure that we win.
Gray, you're the most Democrat person on the panel, I think. What is the plan for the Democrats, and is there going to be a blue wave?
Yeah, most likely. The right wing isn't enthusiastic. So I feel like they're not going to come out and vote midterm elections. You don't have a lot of high turnout. And it's probably just going to be people voting against what's going on. I think the main thing is affordability. Like, you know, when you can't buy groceries, you don't care about a gun. When you can't buy groceries, you don't care about anything else.
True.
You care about buying groceries and the economy. So I feel like that's why Democrats are going to win.
Okay. Well, this is the response that your boy had to those of you making fun of him for saying what he said.
Republicans losing and everything that comes with it. If we get a blue sweep in 28 that includes mass amnesty, what's the game plan for the right wing getting back in power after 30 million illegals are now citizens that can vote?
That is so fucking funny, bro. We have a mass amnesty. What do you think we have? If we're not getting massy, but I love that. But if the Democrats win, then no one's getting deported. Right. If the Democrats get in, if there's a blue sweep, then no illegals are going to get deported. What are we going to do then? Dude, no illegals are getting deported. What are you talking about? They're already not getting deported. And that's not even true. Democrats are not going to give all of them citizenship. You need Congress to do that. That's never going to happen. Nice try, though. Fucking idiot.
Few and Confines sent $20.
Okay. Nia, what do you have to say to that? Do you think he's right? Like, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I have a feeling the Senate is going to stay pretty much even 50-50 split, but I think the Democrats are going to gain the majority in Congress. I don't think it's going to be a blue wave in the sense that people are like, oh my God, blue wave. But I think they're going to gain enough to where the second half of the presidency is going to be a lame duck. I do not foresee the Republicans holding on to the majority that they need to get anything done. And I'm going to be honest, this term of Donald Trump has shown us a distinct lack of legislature, not executive orders, legislature. I'm looking for legislature. I'm looking for changes. And unfortunately, him and the Republicans have fumbled that. They have given us zero legislation. Sure. I do not consider the big ugly bill to be one, because you're supposed, as a Congress member, you are supposed to figure out the financial duties of the country. That is your job. I don't count that. I'm looking for actual legislation. I'm looking for infrastructure bills. I want to see maintenance on sewers. I want to see more desalination plants. I want to see our power grid get fixed. All of these things that would cripple us if we were to ever get into any sort of disagreement with another superpower, potentially, I would like fixed. But there has been a distinct lack of legislature. So I almost want the Democrats to take Congress because I want the Republicans to fight harder. Because right now they're not fighting harder. They're hardly ever at work. I'm sorry, Mike Johnson
You're right.
has these people gone all the time. They're constantly gone. At least the Senate is in session most of the time. At least they're there. Congress members are constantly gone. They're not doing their duty. We have no legislation. Nothing is different. Affordability is what is on people's minds. And right now we have almost a 2,000% increase over the last 18 months of people going to food banks, of people going to homeless shelters, of people needing more handouts than they did before when it comes to food. So that tells us what? That tells us the economy is not good for everybody else. It's a K-shaped economy, and the only people that seem to be getting better are the rich. Another reason why I don't think that the Democrats would impeach Donald Trump is because they don't want to turn over the reins to JD Vance, because JD Vance is even more in line with the billionaires. His entire donor base is all billionaires. He's a Peter Thiel's son, for Christ's sake. He breaks bread with these people. I know he's from Appalachia and he's from Ohio, but he is so far removed from that. It's like he forgot his roots because all he does is break bread with these billionaires, and all he does is accept money.
No lies told. Kamal, this clip is for you. This is why Hillary Clinton said you got to vote with the Democrats. I'm going to play it, and then we're going to transition to the next topic after.
Haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it, and people have been protesting, for hundreds of years.
This lady's still alive.
That, things were not as they should be, given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them. So I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, is just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path toward that. I mean, imperfectly, lots of, bumps along the way, but I agree with you. We were on the right trajectory.
Let me.
So what do you think about what she said, Kamal? Is that enough for you to vote Democrat because you're worried about white men being in power and not having diversity? What do you think?
Man, I wish she just bring the fucking hot sauce out her bag like she used to do to try to get our vote. I'm tired of this shit. First of all, shout out to my favorite Mexican hunky, Nick Fuentes, the youngest nigga with a toupee. Second of all, Hillary Clinton, you doing the same thing that we keep saying on this panel that the Democrats is doing. Tell us your policies that you're gonna make for change for better for America. That's all y'all gotta fucking do. Literally, it'd be a blue tsunami ass wave if y'all did that. Stop saying all the Republicans bad and fucking up. We see that. We see they fucking up. How y'all gonna clean up the fuck up? What policies are you gonna do? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all like, damn, Trump bad and on that island. Well, Bill Clinton was on that island too, playing the saxophone, getting shit popping. All right? God damn, that's the whole thing, to say policies. God damn, I'm telling y'all, that's all y'all gotta do. Damn. And bring back the hot sauce. You might get a couple of goddamn butter biscuit eating Democratic shills to vote. You feel me?
Not butter biscuit, Democratic shields. All right, guys. Serious time. We are switching gears. I got Enzo. Are you a Catholic?
Hold on, time out. Can I say something real quick? Hey, Jeffrey Guy, would you go lick your dog's nuts and shut the fuck up? She didn't say nothing about Biden's infrastructure bill. All she did was complain. God damn, he in the chat been complaining the whole time, crying me a river ass nigga. F out of here, bro.
I miss you going at this guy, bro. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Man,
it's been a while.
It's always fun. I miss it.
Goodness
We
gracious.
gotta say some Hail Marys after that. But Enzo, are you a Catholic?
I am Catholic.
Okay. So some people are, happy Lent. I know you had it yesterday. Or not Lent. What was it yesterday? I forget.
What is it? Yeah, it's Lent. Ash Wednesday.
It's Lent, right? Ash
yeah,
Wednesday,
it's the start
sorry.
of Lent. Yeah.
Happy start of Lent. So right now, Catholics are saying they're under attack, and we're going to break down what was the start of this. It's a lot going on. Growing up in church, you know, I heard not very nice things about Catholics. I don't think these things. Let me be clear. But this is why I stand on freedom of religion, because you know, when you got that one group that attack your religion, one religion next, it might be yours next. But let's watch this clip and let's hear what CNN had to say about white Christianity, nationalism, or whatever they're saying.
Past several months, I've been working on a special project examining the growing influence of Christian nationalism in America. If you're not familiar, Christian nationalism is an ideology rooted in the belief that our country was founded as a Christian nation and that our laws and institutions should reflect Christian values. In the lead up to my hour-long documentary this weekend, we're going to bring you a preview of what you'll see, starting off with the assassination of Charlie Kirk last year. Experts say it was a pivotal moment for the movement and an occasion where the tragedy of his loss unified Christian nationalists and the Trump administration as they honored him.
September 21st, 2025.
America is a nation in grief, a nation in shock, and a nation in mourning. Charles James Kirk was heinously murdered.
That young man, I forgive him. Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist and prominent Christian nationalist, was assassinated. It became a rallying call for those who believed in his message.
Our greatest evangelist for American liberty became immortal.
And it was a call to action.
My charge to all of you, put Christ at the center of your life as he advocated for giving his.
Memorial service was one of the most potent examples of this shift in our culture that we're experiencing right now, where a large segment of American Christians are being activated by these ideas, radicalized by these ideas that say that they are the persecuted ones and that they need to stand up for Christians' rights.
So, Enzo, do you think that Charlie Kirk was a Christian nationalist, or do you think he would identify himself as that? Because, like, I think CNN, but I'll let you go.
No, I think that was a disgrace how they called him a Christian nationalist, because a Christian nationalist, I'm sorry, is Nick Fuentes. That's what a Christian nationalist is. Charlie was not a Christian nationalist. Charlie was a nationalist at the end of the day, wholeheartedly. I'm not going to put two and two together and say that he was, because he's Christian, that makes him a Christian nationalist. No, yes, he did put Christianity behind his politics. That's the one gripe that I did have with Charlie Kirk, is because I don't agree that religion should be in the politics. And the way that I don't think that put a target on Christians in this country. I think the rise and hatred towards Christian nationalists and Christians as a whole and towards Christianity is because of the Nick Fuentes crowd. Because Charlie was unalived, you see the rise of Nick Fuentes and their idea of, we need another crusade to happen. That's where you really see where people are going after people that are Christian in this country, not somebody who just is a practicing Christian, but the extremist is the Nick Fuentes crowd, not anybody who sided with Charlie Kirk. I would never agree with that. They did a injustice completely towards Charlie and the memory of Charlie with that. That was stupid to me.
Well, they have some documentary coming out, but the reason why I played that clip is we're leading up to something that happened last week. It's like a religious liberty organization. There was a deposition, a hearing, and this is what Carrie Jean Bowler had said.
Thank you. Mr. Frankel, this is for you. You described very painful experiences at UCLA, and I take that very serious. At the same time, many of the students who I've spoken to personally who created those encampments say that they were protesting the killing
he looked just like Dr. Phil.
Tens of thousands of Palestinian civilians in Gaza and their university's financial ties to that war. So I need to ask you, in a country built on religious liberty and the First Amendment, do you believe someone can stand firmly against anti-Semitism, including what you experienced, and at the same time condemn the mass killing of Palestinians, or reject political Zionism, or not support the political state of Israel? Or do you believe that speaking out about what many Americans view as genocide in Gaza should be treated as anti-Semitic? Because in my view, the United States cannot and must not make loyalty to a particular theology about Israel a litmus test for protected speech or moral legitimacy.
Charlie Kirk said that Jew hate is brain rot. Some people don't have brains. I'm not going to assist them in setting a double standard for the Israeli government and the Jewish people as they fight to defend themselves. These were students calling for intifada within days after October 7th, before Israel had even entered Gaza. So it's not about them and their using Palestinian civilian death, which is horrendous and horrible. They're using it as a prop, and it doesn't matter. My religious beliefs are violated. You don't get to block me because I'm Zionist and a Jew. You want to protest Israel? Great, 100% go ahead and do it. But the university let them wear masks, even though there's a mask ban. They violated all time, place, and manner restrictions, amplified sounds. It went on for years. They kept doing this time after time again. And that's what the judge saw and said, that's not okay. They can protest, they can't block Jews, and you can't assist them in doing it.
I'm really grateful that we're having this discussion because I think this is a topic that is really affecting so many Americans. Rabbi Shapiro, he's based in New York. I invited him here today, but he's not here today. He says, and I would love your opinion on this, American Jews are increasingly treated as less fully American, our loyalty questioned, our belonging made conditional because Zionist ideology falsely claims Israel is the nation state of Jews everywhere and that every Jew is nationally tied to it. He says, this framing is anti-Semitic at its core. It strips us of our identity as Americans, recasts us as foreigners in our own country, and arms anti-Semites with accusations of divided loyalties and collective guilt for actions we neither chose nor control. No other foreign country does this. No sovereign state claims to politically represent an entire worldwide group defined by religion or heritage and bind its members to its deeds. Yet Jews alone bear this unique, unjust burden. That dangerous lie must be rejected openly and firmly. The remedy is clear: civic education that teaches unconditional American belonging through citizenship alone, not ethnicity, heritage, or any fabricated foreign tie. We are Americans, full stop, and we reject any doctrine that treats us otherwise. Would you say that statement is anti-Semitic?
What I'll say is that Natan Sharansky says there's three things that you shouldn't do with Israel. You shouldn't delegitimize it, you shouldn't demonize it, and you shouldn't apply a double standard. You can abide by those three things, you're not anti-Semitic.
So by not being a Zionist, does that make you an anti-Semite?
I don't think you need to be a Zionist to support a country that defends itself and is free and religious in a hostile neighborhood.
So is anti-Zionism
Hold on
anti-Semitism?
one second, Karen.
Yes.
It is? It is?
Sorry. Yes.
To take that point for a second.
Let me back up. I didn't want to step over that answer. I didn't know you were still, both of you, still talking. So
Just to be clear, is anti-Zionism anti-Semitism?
Yes.
It is? Under IHRA?
Rabbi, you're up next.
You're not sure?
Definition,
So what is the definition?
I would love to speak to that. Undoubtedly, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, and undoubtedly, and one does not have to support the specific policies of the government of Israel, but to not support the right of Israel to exist, which is what anti-Zionists do, while not taking that same stand to the 28 Muslim countries and 13 Christian countries in this world, is a double standard, is hypocrisy, and is absolutely anti-Semitism.
I think it's also important that we not make Islamophobic remarks while we're here today. I would appreciate that.
I just want to
Since
say,
this is a religious liberty hearing.
God forbid was anything like that said. But if the Jewish people are the only people that you deny the right to have its own state, that is absolutely a double standard, hypocrisy, and anti-Semitism.
Well, as you know, I'm a Catholic, and Catholics do not embrace Zionism, just so you know. So are all Catholics anti-Semites, according to you?
As I said, anti-Zionism, by denying the right of the Jews to have their own state while not saying the same for any other peoples, that is a double standard, hypocrisy, and anti-Semitism.
So just to be clear, are Catholics anti-Semites?
Carrie, excuse me. I'm going to interrupt the discussion. Our committee is focused on religious liberty taken from all people, whether it be Muslims, Jews, Christians, Sikhs. We've had all those witnesses here. This is not a commission on defining religions or calling out any theology, or this is not the commission for that.
Right,
And-
but we're
and so
talking
you
about
were-
a foreign nation, so I want to be clear on what the definition of anti-Semitism is. If I don't support the political state of Israel, am I an anti-Semite? Yes or no?
They already answered, asked and
Yes.
answered.
According to you,
So, guys, I want to give background for what this is before I ask my first question. That was Carrie Prejean Bowler. She's a former Miss California, and that was the White House Religious Liberty Commission. Pretty much on February 9th, a week and a half ago, the commission had a hearing on anti-Semitism, and Bowler created controversy by questioning whether anti-Semitism or anti-Zionism equals anti-Semitism, because pretty much this was about. They were talking about Candace Owens and saying that she's an anti-Semite because she's against what's happening in the Middle East. And she is also a Catholic. Doc, as the other Christian on the panel, what is your thoughts about what you just heard? What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with what you heard?
I agree that both parties feel like they're correct. And I think both things can be true. I think we can feel like we should have our own state for our religious belief. And I feel like we could be oppressing people to move that forward. Because I think people get caught up a lot in what's happening in Gaza and they forget about the West Bank of what's happening in that area. And those people live in apartheid as well. But I also think that if we're people of Jewish faith and we have the financial means to, we're going to fight for our right to practice and be here and do that. So I live in America, so I'm not gonna argue which one is right and which one is wrong. I just they're getting the anti-Semite thing, they're throwing it around like racism these days. Anything you question now is probably my problem. Anything you question is anti-Semitism. If you question just the manner in which they do some of their business, they'll say, oh, well, you don't question away anyone but Jews. No, we question the way everybody does their business. You guys just do it a little more shadier, and that might be a little more in your realm that we speak about. But I think everything you question with them comes off as anti-Semitism. Is getting back to where, like, if you commented on anything with black people, they would just throw it out, yo, you racist. It don't matter what you say to us, you know what I'm saying? That's how we get you to stop. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just a problem. Two things can be true. And the reality is I didn't like one thing about it is that they said when he said they feel less American. I treat the Jews who wave the Israel flag the same way I would treat the people who wave the Mexican flag and would show more loyalty to Mexico than America, who would show more loyalty to Israel than America. And sometimes they feel they have somewhere else to go. The Mexicans feel like they can go back to Mexico, and people feel like they can go back to all these places. You know, my family is Black Americans who were born and raised here from South Georgia our whole lives. We're gonna be here. There is nowhere else. So when I say they think they feel their loyalties questioned, you put it out there to have your loyalty questioned because you make questionable loyalty calls. So I think that is a part of that. But I think everybody can feel they're right. And I'm not the referee to decide who is. Only time will tell.
Oh, you muted, Nora.
She didn't just stop speaking there. She went on the Young Turks yesterday, and this is what she had to say.
They've brainwashed people, Christians and many other groups, to worship Israel. And like I said, I would rather die. I would rather die than worship Israel, a genocidal state that is committing genocide against innocent Palestinians.
Yep.
Yeah. It's wrong. And I reject that. And it feels so free, you guys. I honestly feel so free. I'm no longer in chains. Yes. I'm no longer in chains. And you know what? I wasn't. I continue to post and I continue to tell them. And I have the emails to prove it. I have the text to prove it. I have all the receipts. I reached out to many people on the commission and I said, hey, they're trying to silence me for my religious beliefs. What do you think about this?
What do you think about what she said? Great. Is she anti-Semite? Also, the other thing that she was upset about is she was hoping J.D. Vance would speak up because he's also a Catholic, as well as Marco Rubio, two of the most powerful men in our country. What do you think?
Shout out to the Catholics. Ash Wednesday was yesterday. I know some Catholics are doing Lent. So what I would say is that for a long time, Catholics have felt this way. And like I told you previously, Nora, Martin Luther King got his name from someone named Martin Luther, who was a Catholic who stopped people from paying for basically to go to heaven. And so he was very anti-Semitic when he wrote stuff after he did all this stuff with the Catholic Church. Am I kind of shocked that she did this? No, I think anti-Semitism overall is on the rise. Like I said last week, is it warranted based on what policies Israel is doing? I understand why people are doing it. And when you look at history of stuff, I understand the conspiracies, everything around it. I don't think it's appropriate to base it on race or to base it on religion. I would just say base it on what's going on and what you don't agree with and not make it turn into something that becomes discrimination.
But according to their definition, you can't have any criticism. You are anti-Semitic if you have any criticism.
Well, I think what they said was Zionism. Does that make you anti-Semite? So Zionist means that Israel deserves to have their own state. Even Hasidic Jews don't believe Israel's supposed to have their own state. So their own people, some of them don't believe that. So I would say that you should be able to say what religious context means and who should own the land, but it also should be based on government. So I don't feel like that's a fair statement that he said that you can't be Zionist. I feel like that word is just being used as like a tool to not be criticized in any way.
Well, I'm going to play this open letter that they said to her, and then I'm going to have Mia make the closing statement for the topic.
Literally translated as thankful am I. And the rabbinic commentators are always puzzled by that phraseology because it should not be modeh ani, thankful am I, but ani modeh, I am thankful. And the lesson we learn is before we can say anything, before we go about our day, the very first thing is we must show appreciation. So before I even get to the testimony, I just want to say what a remarkable breath of fresh air this commission and this hearing is. As a individual who registered to vote as a Democrat the day I turned 18, nobody's perfect, we could not get help from the Biden-Harris administration. They did not lift a finger as American students were being denied access to education on their college campuses. And I remember on the campaign trail when President Trump said that religious liberties would be a priority when he gets into office. And this is a testament to the fact that the promises made on the campaign trail have in fact become promises kept. All of you on this commission are a testament to that. Many of the individuals in this room, like Martin Marks, like Jennifer Korn, like Leo Terrell, like Harmeet Dillon, like Dr. Sebastian Gorka, you have been fighting the fight that I wish the previous administration would have cared to fight as well. So first and foremost, thank you for doing this. The second point I want to say is that in 1790, President George Washington writes a letter to the largest Jewish community in the United States, numbering 25 families in Newport, Rhode Island. And he says, here in the United States, we want you, as descendants of Abraham, to come to our country and practice your faith, because in his own words, quote, bigotry will be granted no sanction and persecution no assistance. And how shocked and how embarrassed and how appalled would President Washington and President Adams and President Jefferson and our founding fathers be today to know that in the 21st century, American students and American citizens were denied access to education because of their religious identity, and the people denying them that access were those who were allegedly in the upper echelons of our society, the most elite, the most progressive, the most If these are America's future judges and jurors, if these are America's future authors of the books your kids and grandkids will read, who are taught to hate Western civilization, to hate the founding of our country, and to hate other people based on their religious identity, then this is no longer simply a Jewy issue or an anti-Semitism issue, but this is an issue that cuts at the core of our American democracy, our liberal values, and our Western civilization. And I have to say, even though, of course, this hearing is focused on anti-Semitism, and I will get to that, I promise, I started a timer, but I do want to say that when chants at Oklahoma State of F the Mormons are being sprung out, that is an attack against the Jewish community. It's obviously an attack against the Mormon community, but it's also an attack on every single American. When we have in Long Beach, California, just a week ago, a Catholic school being vandalized to the point whereby they can't even renovate the school anymore, that is not merely an attack on the Catholic community, but it's an attack on the Jewish community, and it's an attack on every single American. And that, unfortunately, brings me to Harvard University. I will, in the interest of time, skip to October 7th, which was not only the largest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, but it was also a massacre in which 45 American citizens were butchered by the rapist Islamic regime of Hamas. And I just want to quote what was happening on the night of October 7th amongst the most educated, the most elite, and the most progressive of our society. Quote, 2 days after Hamas's deadly attack on Israel last year, senior administrators at Harvard University wrestled with how to respond. Drafting a public statement, they edited out the word violent to describe the attack when a dean complained that it, quote, sounded like assigning blame. They debated whether to explicitly disown a declaration by some Harvard student groups that Israel was responsible for the violence, but ultimately they decided not to. And when they did eventually come out with their statement, it did not, in fact, include the word violent. The largest demonstration I saw at Harvard University was a few days after October 7th, where a masked student gets up in front of a $1,000 fellowship by Harvard Law School to intern, and he's coming after the Zionist mafia. And perhaps the icing on the cake is of the dozens of phone calls and emails we sent to Harvard University simply inquiring about his employment status. To this day, they have not once responded to us. It is inconceivable that any other minority group would be treated with the disdain, the disregard, and the contempt that Harvard has historically, routinely, and consistently treated its Jewish student population. But to me, I can forgive and forget. There is one thing I will not forgive and I will not forget, and that was the encampments. Forget about.
Okay, that was long. That was supposedly his response to her. I had to cut it. It's no disrespect. I just had to cut it. Nia, what's your thoughts? Do you think if you're anti-Zionist, you're anti-Semitic? And what do you think about everything you heard?
I mean, Zionism is just the belief that Israel deserves to exist. I have no problem with Israel existing. So, I mean, and Semitic is a bloodline, which includes Arabs as well. So, I mean, I guess as long as you're not saying anything overtly racist, I mean, no harm, no foul. I think a lot of people are really quick to say anti-Semitic. But I mean, you're allowed to criticize Jews. You're allowed to criticize Israel. Doesn't make you racist. Doesn't make you anti-Semitic or anti-Zionist. I mean, people do the same thing with Black Americans. They say we're racist or we're being racist towards white people whenever we say, hey, this is kind of fucked up. What's going on here? I mean, everybody's just mudslinging on everybody. I ignore it all. I mean, no offense, but the Jews are in control of most of the Fortune 500 companies, and all of the big seven are all ruled by Jews. So at this point in time, like, I don't know why they're complaining. They control everything anyways. I don't know what more they want from us.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to end with Donald Trump hosted Black History Month at the White House. And we personally know someone that was there. I'm going to play this clip. This was from Rob Smith. I cannot stand this guy, but I love the people in the clip. I just don't like Rob Smith. Here we go.
It is the Black History Month reception at the White House. I'm out here and you can see all of these people standing and waiting in line to go into the White House reception for Black History Month. So if anybody's telling you, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
This is an all-star affair.
This is another one. This is what happens.
All-star affair.
Going on. So good to see you.
Let me play it back.
What's going on? Good to see you as well, brother. So look, this is the line again for the Black History Month reception at the White House. So the next time somebody tells you that Trump is racist or he doesn't like black people or anything like that, you can direct them to this crowd. You can direct them to all of the black people that are here in support of the president. And you can direct them to stop their lying, their deceit, and their propaganda. Because this is black excellence behind me. And the Trump White House appreciates that, respects it, and is honoring it for Black History Month.
I just watched you this morning.
Oh, yeah?
So I didn't get my invite, even though I didn't get my invite. I'm not black enough, I guess. I didn't get it.
You're not, but maybe if we go together, we'll equal enough. We'll equal black enough to be able to get an invite. I'll rip it in half. You keep half, I take half, and we'll make it.
I promise you, I was like, wow, everybody was there. That's part of something I'm part of, but I didn't get an invite. It's okay. But nevertheless, it's all good.
Hey, Nora.
Invite either though. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
What were you gonna say, Greg?
You know when it's like a party, there's like that one person that didn't get invited.
Yeah.
Feels like that. Oh, okay.
It feels like that. It feels like they said that they got me for Hispanic month. I said I ain't Hispanic, so I mean I'm happy to go. I'll take the invitation. Anyways, I joke. I'm half joking. Yeah, half joking, but half telling the truth. I'll tell you guys later. But nevertheless, we saw Rippy. Doc, what do you think about Trump hosting the Black History Month? I see you didn't get invited too. I guess you don't support. Oh yeah, you don't like Trump. So, what's your thoughts?
I thought you were just trying to call Doc light skin too. The light skin joke.
I honestly wasn't making a light skin joke. I was really getting at. Do you think if you were invited, Doc, would you be excited? Would you be celebrating? What do you think?
Nah, I ain't the tap dancing, sing mammy kind of nigga. So you know what I'm saying. I probably wouldn't have went because it come off like, you know what I'm saying, like, and that's not about Rippy because I think Rippy is real open minded and
I do too.
And he believes in what he believes in, and that's cool with me. You know what I mean. But when you get out there with tap dancing niggas, we can't tell you apart. You know what I'm saying? So that is a dangerous part to be in because, and not all of them, some of them people are just black conservatives, and that's what they believe, and that's cool too. But the people, when you get in those type of environments, a lot of those people are invited because they do stuff on the internet for likes and clicks. And sometimes in the black community, when they get on there and do stuff for likes and clicks, they tap dance and coon and clown. You know what I mean? And that's not just a conservative thing. That's a liberal thing. That's done on both sides. That's bipartisan. They're coon and clown on both sides. You know what I mean? So I'm not putting it on him like that. But I just don't think I'd want to be out there and being paraded around for my look how I know black people. Look at all the niggas I know. You know what I mean? Like that just wouldn't be my, you know, I got that one black friend. I wouldn't want to be the one to show up and be like, yeah, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think
like 500 black friends there. It was like a room full of black people.
He got to show you how many he got. You know what I mean? Like he could do it at any moment. He could have did it last year. You know what I mean? Like I get it as Black History Month.
It once a year, specifically Black History Month.
I know it.
And that's all I say.
Why can't he? You know what I'm saying? And that ain't just against him or anybody. No, I get it's
politics in general. It's not. Let me be clear. My criticism is not just on Trump because they all do this. Why do you only give one day in February to the black community when we're 14 to 20% of the population? I would like that.
And Trump is the leader of the free world. So do I think that Trump set this up and he's the person who was like, yeah, this is who I'm going to invite. This is who's not coming. I don't believe that. I believe it was a day on his calendar. Someone else schedules it. Somebody else picks the roster of whoever's coming, and all of the presidents do it. Everyone does it. It's not a single out thing for him. But I wouldn't go for that purpose because I ain't gonna be the black guy, you know, for anybody, for any white folks out there. You know what I'm saying? So don't plan on me being the nigga you call to vouch on. You know how to season your chicken. You know what I'm saying?
So
It's
should
not
I
gonna
be
happen.
embarrassed that I didn't get invited, or should I just be glad since it's the one day of tap dancing?
No, you ain't have your shoes on, Nora. They said no, it just started tap
She would have
dancing.
tapped.
She don't. Yeah, she wouldn't tap hard enough.
They
They said,
purposely-
"Oh my, she all beat over there. We know she got a little bit of goddamn Moroccan in her. She all beat, goddamn it."
Okay, Mia, I know you want to add to the conversation. What's your thoughts?
I was just looking at the comments, and our troll Ryan H 2691 was talking about Jim Crow 2.0. Civil rights leaders sound alarm on the Save Act. You know, the new ID Act. When it comes to that, and I wanted to highlight this because this is an example of liberal racism and bigotry. To assume that Black Americans are not fucking capable, excuse my French, of coming up with documentation to vote is ridiculous. We're more than capable of having IDs. Most of us have passports. We know where we're born. We have our birth certificates. And it's the bigotry like this of low expectations that we are not capable of doing for ourselves. And we need the white man to lower the standards so we can meet them. This is what I'm talking about when we say liberals and Democrats are racist, because they perpetuate these falsehoods that Black Americans are not good enough, that we're not capable on our own, which we are. And nothing infuriates me more of this bigotry of low expectations from these people. Black Americans do not need any fucking help. Just like every other American, we're perfectly capable of getting passports, getting our birth certificates, knowing where the DMV is. We have computers, we have iPads, we have iPhones, we have college degrees. We don't need you to lower the fucking standards because you think we're not good enough to meet them. Data tells us we are perfectly capable of voting on our fucking own.
Sorry.
And that's
Right,
all I
she was
got to
talking
say
to
about the
you.
SAVE Act. Black people are going to be just fine. FBAs are going to be just fine. We'll be able to vote, baby. Don't worry about us.
Yeah, tell them. And just so you know, most Black immigrants, they got their papers in order. They got their green card. They got all that in order. So you don't even got to worry about us Black immigrants over here. But nevertheless, I got another clip I want to play. This was at the White House. This is what happened.
I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, Nicki is so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that. But she was so beautiful and so great. And she gets it, you know, more importantly, frankly.
Hey, so Gray, I want to get your thoughts in here. When he falls out with Nikki, do you think he gonna be making that a critique about them nails? Because I feel like he gonna use it against her at some point. I don't know, or maybe they'll never fall out. What you think, Gray?
People said that he hit, so I mean, I don't know. That's what people said.
I'm one of them people. I'm one. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I know Trump likes to dip in the dark meat. That's what I've heard about him. So,
So then that proves he's not a racist, then, right?
Hell no. What?
I don't know. Maybe it's a fetish. I don't know. How would I know? So, my whole point with him and Nikki, I feel like Trump is all about who's loyal to him. Trump will be cool with anybody. If you could be the worst person in the world, if you're loyal to Trump, Trump will ride with you if you ride with him. So as long as she don't turn on Trump, she's good.
Well, that wasn't the only Black woman that he was having a good moment with yesterday. Let's watch this clip.
In the district, if you kill somebody, okay, you take a life, you do life. Just that simple. If you do a harsh crime, you do harsh time. Just that simple. And then we need National Guard, and which we did years ago. He brought it on. I love him. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about that racist stuff. And don't be looking at me on the news, hating on me because I'm standing up for somebody that deserves to be standing up for. Get off the man's back. Let him do his job. He's doing the right thing. Back up off of him. And Grandma said it.
I don't know who made this list, but boy, she should have been at the top of that motherfucker, boy.
This is why I can't be invited to places, y'all. I would have been that person hollering.
That's why you would get an invite. They know that.
You know what? That's why. When they giving out the cups, I say no, thank you. But nevertheless, Kamal, does this prove that Trump is not a racist?
I don't know. Y'all don't want to hear my answer. We got a bunch of mega coons and Democratic butter biscuit eating shills all in the chat. This don't make. Did y'all know that the race of white folks still fuck black folks? You feel me? Just because you
in slavery, he's talking about, right?
Yeah, like, bro, the whole thing hanging around other groups and stuff like that does not eliminate you from being a racist. Okay? But I will say this. Trump is a great marketer, ain't he? This motherfucker be marketing goddamn well. God damn, he had that mammy up there in her mammy spirit. Like, oh, Lord, don't you dare talk about my white Zeta Trump. He is the greatest ever, just like my grandmama said. Who got the better butter biscuits, man? The Democratic shields or the MAGA people? I'm just wondering. And Ryan, bruh, I'm going to do a prayer for you. I pray that, you find it in your heart to forgive Jeffrey mama who gave you herpes from her meth-encrusted cooch. Both of you motherfuckers in the chat, we wouldn't give you shit if you actually talked about the point that we talking about instead of trying to allude that we some coons and stuff like that. And all of us on this panel, we all ain't goddamn conservative or Republican like that. But I had to give a prayer because, we did the prayer to Catholic earlier and stuff. So I had to give a prayer to bruh because he seemed like he needed it. You feel me? And Michael Wilbur, you funny as hell. Bruh said, what about White History Month? I'm like, okay, bruh.
As the white man here, we do not need a White History Month.
I
think
Black
Democrats
History Month.
Democrats are delusional to think like Democrats have this idea that there's no racism on the Democratic side. And that's not to say Trump is racist or any of that, like, because I'm not calling that. But Democrats will be like, did you see that? We would never. And I'd be like, yo, come on, bro. Like, is it white folks over there? All right, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it black folks over there? You think the Asian Democrats like gonna let you marry their daughter if you ain't Asian?
Hell no.
Never. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a disillusion. Like, it's just certain things in the world that are true. It's racism everywhere in the world, in every group, in every religion, and that's just the truth. Like, but they would try to like trick us out of our vote by being like, oh my God, are you siding with the racists? I'd be like, shit, I don't know which side yet. One of them though. You know what I'm saying? I'm independent, so it's coming. I don't know which side, but one of them. Like,
I gotta respond to that as a Democrat on the panel. I feel like the both racism on both sides, the argument, there's two very different types of racism. Like, you have the right wing that probably identifies with going after minorities and things like that, where it's policies and things with voting and things like that, where people feel like their rights are being infringed upon. Where I feel like the left wing looks at a power dynamic and is racist towards whites, but not in the sense of oppression or doing policies that harm them. I think that's the difference.
Now, Gray, I gotta give some pushback, bro, because racism just racism. That sounds like the whole thing.
I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, like when people hit you with the, oh, it's the Jews, and we talk about white supremacy. We'd be like, come on, the whole Jewish supremacy shit, that's what it kind of sounds like. So racism is racism at the end of the day. That's how I kind of feel.
Yeah, I want to say racism is racism, but if we're going to have the discussion about which type of racism, I mean, at least I'd rather see the racism blatantly than have somebody insidiously do it. It's very bigoted and insidious to assume that because I'm Black, somehow I can't fucking vote on my own. Because I'm Black, somehow you have to lower the standards because you think I am less than, because you're perpetuating not only a bias that has been taught, whether it's in the medical field or in the education field. And that's what Democrats do. They perpetuate this bigotry and bias of low expectations, which thus compounds us to stay leached onto the teat of the government because they purposefully keep us there, because they continue to perpetuate their racism and bigotry of low expectations, because they constantly are lowering the bar. So when you have people like Clarence Thomas, whether you like him or not, when he was in college back in Harvard, he cut strays because of affirmative action, because it essentially, in ways, people could feel like it lowered the bars and it lowered the standards for us to be there. We're never going to beat these stereotypes if you don't give us actual equality and we are not treated as equal. You have and that's my biggest crux with the Democratic Party, is they are constantly being bigots. It's insidious. They do it deceitfully. They're like, oh, we're friends, but I think you're less than. I think you're stupid. I think you can't operate an iPhone. I think you can't operate a computer. You don't have access to internet. These are what our future judges, lawyers, congressmen, and women are saying on TV, 10 toes down, that they think Black people don't have access to this shit. That's crazy to me. And that's what makes up the Democratic Party. And the fact that so many Black people don't call them out for their bigotry of low expectations on us is crazy work to me. You do not have to lower the standards for Black Americans. We are more than capable, just like everybody else, of meeting them. And that's why so many Black people are leaving the Democratic Party, as we see it now, how racist they are. They're just very insidious about it. But I'm sorry, I'd rather deal with a crazy white racist who's racist to my face than a Democrat who thinks low of me, who wants to lower the standards.
And let me be clear, I was just in a room full of white conservatives in December. I felt zero racism. I make a post, I get 10 racist posts from Democrats, all sorts of things. You shouldn't be thinking like this because of your race. Or remember this happened. It's like reminding me, putting me in my place because of my race. So I have a problem with that. But anyway,
I want to ask a loaded question. Okay. So I want to go to colorism because I'm the darkest person on this panel. So I want to say, like, for you, being lighter complexion, do you feel like you feel more comfort with whites than someone that is a darker complexion that feels like the racism that comes from the right wing is much more harmful to that person, whether it be police policy, whether that be with jobs, and whether that be just having a right to vote, because gerrymandering happens in this situation. So I want to ask that question.
Yeah, of course. Colorism exists. The closer in proximity you are to whiteness, the easier it is for you to blend in. And being racially ambiguous makes life a little bit easier for you. It's the data supports by every metric that we have that being darker skinned can and does often put you at a disadvantage. And anybody who is light skinned that says it doesn't exist, a fucking liar, because we have the data that supports that. Like, that's not, colorism exists. It exists as a society as a whole. It exists in Asian culture. If you notice, the Asians also sequester themselves. You have your Chinese and you have your Japanese, who are historically very pale, but you have your Filipinos and like your Taiwanese, who are a little bit darker, or your Cambodian people, who are also much darker. And you notice there's not a lot of intermingling between them as well, because they try to keep their bloodlines pure. Colorism exists in every single race that we have in the United States, but all over the world as well.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to touch on this too. My entire thing with this is where the colorism and all the racism comes from is from the Democratic Party, from the inception of the United States. Like, I don't ever really want to hear that there was a party shift in America when Democrats are still singing the same tune that they were singing at the end of the Civil War. It's just with a different colored person at this point, because back then it was black people with slaves, now it's with immigrants. Like, I don't ever want to hear it. And their blatant racism is just showing nowadays. I've said it from the beginning. The people that are the loudest about something, calling somebody racist, calling somebody something else, are the ones who are guilty of it. I've never seen, like maybe it's the group of people that I hang around, that I conversate with, that are Republicans. I don't see racism from any of them. None of them show any racism and a racist bone in their body. We're all fun-loving people that love everybody for who they are, not because of their skin color, not because of anything like that. When it comes down to the colorism, let's look at the incarceration rates of people of color and look at the policies that were put forward. The 94 crime bill is the biggest one, and that was authored by Joe Biden, the president that everybody loved. Apparently 81 million people voted for him. One of the most racist people that I've ever seen in my entire life, just based off of clips of him. Like, I'm sorry, like that's where it all comes from. And I realistically, like I said it last night, I want the Democratic Party to literally just die and something else take its place. Something else take the place of the Democratic Party, because it has done nothing but keep people down. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry. Every Democratic policy that I've ever seen keeps people in poverty, keeps people in these situations where the Republicans, yes, there are racist Republicans. I'm never going to say there isn't. There are, but I see more of it on the Democratic side. Yes, you have the groypers who are the racist of the Republican Party. That's what I call the real racist of the Republican Party. Maybe some fucking Meemaw and Papaw in the middle of fucking nowhere in America, the redneck racist, yeah, that are in the Republican Party, sure. But it's not as pronounced as the Democratic Party online every single day. Like what happened 2 weeks ago with the ICE agent, the one black ICE agent who called asked if that dude was a woman or whatever it was. And you have the one dude in the background screaming, yeah, you H N-word, you house N-word. Like that got swept right under the fucking rug. If that was a Trump supporter who said that, that would have been on every single news station. Every single news station would have been playing that for a month straight. You guys just I can go on for hours. Sorry.
I'll tell you this, Enzo, that shit getting swept under my rug. I talked about that shit. And
So
the light skin, bro, Torre, bro, giving a pass saying, oh,
He justified it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
There's no justifying that. There is none. That's disgusting language in my eyes.
That shit is crazy. Can I speak on the colorism thing though?
Yeah, go ahead. And then we're gonna go to closing thoughts. You'll be the last.
Yeah, I know that, I'm light skinned. You feel me? I see it every day. You know what I mean? I will say this about the colorism thing. I guess that shit didn't work for me because that shit didn't give me a goddamn better job or it didn't give me a better position in school. None of that shit. Now it maybe gave me a better chance at getting an attempt to talk to a woman. You feel me? But it still didn't give me the draws. You feel me? That colorism shit didn't do nothing for me at all. I'm just saying, you feel me? Like, and I'm the light of the light. People say I'm transparent, goddamn. I just see that the colorism thing, I feel that's more of some shit that happens within other groups
Our
in
community.
America.
Or our community. I do feel like the colorism thing to me is more prevalent in our community.
Nora,
Because I
be real. You say that black people are more racist to you.
For
You
me,
say that all the
that's what I'm
time.
saying. In our community, what I'm saying is, I think white people, they truly think black is black to them. I don't think they like. Yes, I think some darker people do get like worse treatment sometimes, but within our community, the colorism thing I think is the most prevalent.
I think differently because Gray, my brother. My brother is darker than Gray. Like my actual brother, we got the same mama, we got different pops. And the way I get treated and the way he get treated, it's a distinct difference. And we grew up together, so I know it. And that's just a part of the game. We ain't running away from it. That's something we grew up and learned to accept. Our mama put us onto it early. So it happens and it does happen. Because before I had locks and I had a beard, when I was just a light-skinned guy with a low haircut, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot easier to, be accepted some places than it would be for, So it's definitely a thing. And that's about white people, black people, everywhere.
Man, I'm jealous of your light skinness, bro. That shit worked for you. Damn.
I've seen some MAGA Trump supporters, but I just wanted to ask that question because y'all were like, oh, it's racism from both sides. But Nora was like, "Oh, black people are racist towards me, blah blah blah." So it doesn't matter what
Did
side
not
that I pick.
say
That's
that.
what you
They're
said.
I
throwing
did
you
not
right
say
under the
that. Run
bus.
the tape.
They're
Run
straight
the
up
tape.
throwing you under the bus. Full stop. Backed it up and ran you over.
So in that aspect, I would say, okay, I can understand why you would pick this over that because you're saying this is racism coming from here. So that was my question. For me,
Well, Gray thinks that everybody, any black person that's a Republican is crazy because he feels like Republicans are the most racist people in the world. You gonna throw me under the bus, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. And so just so you know, he thinks we're all crazy if we support Trump and we're conservative and we're black.
I know, and what I said was this is a new age thing. A new age thing is black people being conservatives. Wasn't something this Trump did this, but from Trump's behavior, the way Trump acts, I understand the appeal to people. But I guess I'm more of an old soul where I'm like, well, this is touchy. I can't trust giving these people a vote because I don't know what they might do to black people. That's just the reality of it.
I want to ask
Yeah,
you
but
this,
don't
Greg.
you feel
I want to ask you, Greg. Do you really think it's just that, or people are just really waking up to the Democratic Party and realizing that they're not for people?
Okay, I haven't seen for me like my aunt, like an older black relative come to me and say, "Oh, this is what is good for black people." The people in my family that have been MAGA are younger, are entrepreneurs, are more different than someone that's very old school. So like I haven't seen very many older black people in my vicinity in my personal life that would vote for a Republican.
That's fair.
All right, guys, this is a great discussion. We're going to start with closing thoughts. Ladies first. Mia, what's your closing thought?
At the end of the day, we are all Americans, but don't be a fucking bigot. Black Americans are more than capable of taking care of ourselves. We do not need the standards lowered because you think we are less than. You need to address your own internalized racism and your own bigotry if you continue to perpetuate those kind of lies and stereotypes about Black Americans. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't be a fucking bigot.
Also, go follow Mia on TikTok, X, Instagram, and YouTube.
You see Jeffrey Epstein on here?
Oh, did he say? Charlie, Jesus Christ. Just in time for Enzo. I didn't know that was up there, Enzo, when I called you. Enzo, what's your closing thoughts?
This is a great episode. Whole Prince Andrew thing, I think it's just for show. I don't really think anything's gonna happen with that. One weird thing that I found out about Jeffrey Epstein today, that in 2015 and 2016 under the Obama administration, almost bought DoD property and was going to be the landlord for DoD property, as well as 2 FBI field offices in Virginia as well as Baltimore, which I thought was absolutely insane. Other than that, I really don't think Christians or Catholics are being prosecuted the wrong way or persecuted the wrong way in America, other than Nick Fuentes and his supporters. I think full wrath should go after them. And one thing I wanted to say on Nick Fuentes before was I think it's hilarious that he wants the Democrats to win when they're going to go after anybody and everybody that sided with Trump. He's going to be like public enemy number 1 to go after. Like the Biden administration was going after Charlie Kirk, trying to throw Charlie Kirk in fucking jail. What do you think they're going to do to Nick Fuentes? They're going to make an example out of him if they get into office. So I think it's hilarious. It's like salt for slugs at this point. Like you're literally just going to tell people to vote for your own demise. Other than that, like I said, this is a great episode, and I hope everyone has a good weekend.
Good point. Doc, what's your closing thoughts? Thank you for coming.
A guy like Nick Fuentes who doesn't wear pants, you can't trust him. I've been around the world. You got to use the rights we have in America. He's using his freedom of speech while telling you not to use your freedom to vote. you shouldn't listen to someone like that. He's not even wearing pants. That's most important. And everybody, racism from anyone is a bad thing. One of the things I realized as a young dude from a very low income background when I joined the army was when we got out there, we were all there together, like black, white, Asian. We were all Americans and we were there together. And I think a lot more people need to realize that, and a lot more people need to try to live that a little bit better when they go out throughout their day. I know it's going to be different struggles for everyone of every demographic, but do your best to just try to be the best person you can be. And as far as the Catholics under attack, I think she kind of invited the attack. And I don't know if Catholics are under attack or if she's under attack, but you know, people believe in what they believe in, and you're not going to change it for a lot of people because they live in that world every day. So just do what's best for you. As far as voting, I told y'all on here, I'll tell you who I'm voting for. uh I'm more independent. Vote for what works best for you in your life, and we'll just go from there.
Facts. Kamal, what's your closing thoughts?
Man, shout out to everybody on the panel today. You feel me? Y'all go follow. Some people have TikToks. Some people have Twitters. Some people run lives on TikToks and stuff like that. Y'all go follow them. Also, follow the new party. Hit the notification bell so you know when they go live, all right? Also, if you want to follow on my end, Kamal Johnson Network. You feel me? Y'all come over there. Ryan, bring your dusty ass over there so I can clown you and Jeffrey. God damn it. I'm going to get on y'all in a minute, but I'm going to get back on these topics. First of all, Prince Andrew. He was on the island. Second was the Catholics getting attacked by the Jewish bruh. I don't really know, but it did kind of seem that if you criticize anything that a Jewish person do at this point, it seems like they're saying you're anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist. But Ray FBA, shout out to you, brother. You did bring up a great point. You have to define what's a Semite. Anyway, shout out to Mr. Rippy and Slim. I ain't gonna lie, y'all two kind of changed my mind on the black MAGA crowd. You feel me? Y'all cool as hell. Y'all open-minded. Y'all can have good discussions. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Y'all are kind of in a group where the rest of the group, they be tap dancing like Doc says. They be cooning it up. And you not only have MAGA coons, you have Democoons, as you can see with Ryan and Jeffrey. Also, I will have to say this. Is Donald Trump a racist? At this point, I think 95% of these motherfuckers racist. We just have to do business with them. We trying to get our goddamn tangibles, you feel me? I'm gonna keep screaming it. Cash reparations, you feel me? Anti-black hate crime bill. What's up with that? Y'all just know that a illegal immigrant killed one of our black sisters fleeing from ICE? Anti-black hate crime bill. We gonna need that. You feel me? And yeah, shout out to the chat though. Y'all is very respectful, you feel me? And I'm just playing with y'all, Jeffrey and Ryan. Don't get your goddamn panties in a bunch. Especially Ryan, you been Justin Timberlake crying out here. You like, oh my God, y'all some Karens and favorites. With that being said, look, everybody have a great weekend. And Ryan and Jeffrey, stop playing reach arounds with each other, bro. The shit's disgusting. Hold on. We got nigga said, shut the F up. Oh, nigga not. Boy, I'm gonna spare your ass. You feel me? I'm gonna let Greg go. You feel me? I'm gonna let you.
Prince Andrew got arrested. Well, we are talking about Catholics, so I would say I don't confess, so don't confess. But this Epstein thing is getting crazy. I don't think he's going to confess. And I do think it's going to be a blue wave in the midterms. For me, I don't necessarily want them to impeach Trump. I just want to get back to peace and chaos. It might destroy us on the podcast because it's not going to be entertaining anymore with Trump's antics and the Republicans' antics. But, maybe things will get a little better if we have some checks and balances. Like we always say on a new party, always vote.
Always vote. Guys, thank you guys for watching. Shout out to watching us. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday and Wednesday is a more men's focused hip hop night with Gray on the Man Cave. Tuesday, Thursday is more political and pop culture. So make sure you guys are following us. I will be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. bright and early for our weekday recap show. I do that every Monday and Friday morning where we do the weekend or weekday recap. So thank you guys for watching. So my closing thoughts is this: freedom of religion is a cornerstone of free society. It protects Christians, Muslims, Jews, and other people of every faith and those of no faith at all. We should be the first to denounce anyone who tries to infringe on another person's right to worship or not worship according to their conscience. So to our Christian audience, or a Catholic audience, I should say, Happy Land. To our Muslim friends, Ramadan Mubarak. And we believe Jesus is the truth and light. Well, at least I do. And I'll always share that hope. But I don't believe in coercion. I don't believe in forcing my religion on anyone. I believe in protecting it because that's what the founding fathers wanted. Good night. God bless. And stay safe.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.
Pathetic.